Hello everyone, this video is about the timeline from after when I was discharged from the hospital. It's all about being home. The first three things that we needed medically when I got home was a nurse to come around to change the dressing every 2 or 3 days, a physiotherapist who came around every Monday, Wednesday, Friday to the house to help me rehabilitate a little physically. The other was a wheelchair. I was unable to cover the distance from our front door to the end of our road on foot. So we decided to hire a wheelchair, again through the medical aid, in case we needed to get any long distances done. When I say long distances, anything over 400 meters I couldn't manage. I was very pleased to be home, but it's been almost a year now and I'm still very far from where I was. I'm going to run through the symptoms I had after coming out of hospital, the symptoms I had at home. We'll chat about that. So, list. I was still coughing. That cough that started the whole thing was still there. It was very difficult to expect anything. I don't know the proper word. To cough up phlegm. Very, very difficult. And there was a lot of phlegm that needed to come up because of my fluid retention. Another strange side effect was an itchy skin. I cannot explain to you how itchy I was all over the place and had these little pimply pock marks everywhere. On my arm, my chest, my back. There was no greater pleasure than someone scratching my back in the places I could not reach. Wonderful. Something I still have now is the feeling in my left from about here right up, uppity to there. Has very little sensation. I can't really feel much of anything. It's great when you're giving blood because you don't feel it. Not so great when it comes to actually doing stuff, just day-to-day activities. I find I'm very clumsy. It's because you get used to it and you think you can feel what you're holding and that your arm is in a slightly maybe different position, but it's not. And I ended up dropping, smacking, throwing over a lot of things completely by accident. The continuous crunching sounds when I breathed, especially on the right hand side, it was very disturbing. When I say crunchy sounds, it's every time I breathed in, it felt and sounded like crunching paper. That was the fluid in the lungs, or around the lungs, that had built up and was remaining there. Sternum, where they cut me open, was incredibly itchy, of course. It's a healing wound. It's going to be itchy. But it got a bit much sometimes. Sometimes it really prickled, like inside. Swelling was a huge problem. Yes, got a bit of a neck. That was even bigger. It was huge. And my feet were like these big puffy balls at some stage because, again, of the fluid retention. Difficulty breathing. Our bedroom is upstairs. Getting up the stairs after the operation was a huge effort. I would have to stand on the landing for a good minute or two to catch my breath, compose myself, to catch the last part of the stairs. Showering was near impossible. It was the most physically exhausting thing that I needed to do. Thankfully I had help, and that was good. But it was absolutely exhausting. And again, that comes with the shortness of breath. It felt like there was a bandage wrapped around my rib cage and pulled really tight. I just couldn't get enough air in. I couldn't breathe in deeply enough. It felt like continuously drowning. It was a horrible sensation. Low blood pressure. Low blood pressure was a huge problem. I would often get a bit dizzy, lose my orientation a bit, and that's simply because of the low blood pressure. What else? There was a morning where I got out of bed, started down the stairs, and halfway down the first flight of stairs, my leg gave out. Suddenly had no feeling, I lost strength, no feeling, everything. I had the handrail in my hand, but I was lucky enough to be able to ease myself down onto the stairs. That happened very suddenly, and in a minute or two, the feeling came back and the strength came back. I still don't know what that was about. It was just the one leg, but if you're going down the stairs and you're standing on that leg, it's a problem. What else? Sleep. Haven't been able to sleep well for 2 years now, probably. When I say sleep well, I battle to get to sleep. I battle to stay in sleep. Helped me a little bit. But in the morning when I got up, I felt like zombie is a nice word. It just this cotton wool grey nothing feeling for at least 2 hours. I used to call it thawing out, because I would just sit at the table and wait for that feeling to pass, and that was due to the sleep meds. And then a lack of appetite. I have thankfully gotten over that hurdle myself. I did not need any medication for that. Actually I did, but we'll get to that later. My appetite was gone. My taste in foods is completely different. I could not eat a full meal, any meal. When I say the portions were like yay big, that's everything. The protein, the starch, the vegetables, that's what I could manage. I just couldn't eat. Some foods put me completely off. For instance, the smell of lime. Can't stand it now. Couldn't stomach it. I would feel ill, like I wanted to throw up, and then when I ate a little bit at those points, because I noticed they came around mealtime, that feeling would subside, which was a bit weird. I mean, you don't feel like eating when you feel like you want to throw up, but when I did eat just a small something, that sensation dropped away. Water. I could not get enough water. Water was the best tasting thing to me. I know this sounds weird, but good tap water, awesome. Sparkling water, sparkling mineral water was my absolute favorite. It had a clean, fresh taste. The water at the physiotherapist was the best water I've ever tasted. It was perfectly ice cold, chilled, and it had this gorgeous natural flavor to it. Water has flavor, people. After this operation, water has flavor. I can tell you whether it's tap water, mineral water, if it's tap water that's been in the fridge. I used to be a huge coffee drinker. I loved a good strong cup of coffee, full, rich flavor. Tea, I used to drink tea as well. The British way, with the milk and the sugar, nice cup of tea, strong. I can't. I've tried getting back into coffee, trying tea. It just tastes absolutely shite. And I keep convincing myself it's gonna taste great. You love this. You used to love this. Not anymore. Not anymore. That ship has sailed. I'll have the odd cup of coffee when I really have that craving for it. I want to try again. Hopefully like it. Doesn't fucking work. In between all of this, somewhere there were more cardiac checkups, because just a simple cold felt like it almost killed me. And I'm not talking man flu here. It was a cold. It was just a general cold, and I was laid flat. I couldn't cope with it. It took me about 2 to 3 weeks to get over that cold. The rest of the family had the cold, of course. No problem for them. For me, it was a serious problem. The rattling in the lungs got worse. The tightness in the chest to be able to breathe was absolutely unbearable. The physical weakness that this caused was horrid. So yes, a couple of checkups at the cardiologist ensued every time I got a cold. Thankfully, it got better every time. I'm just recovering from another cold that also has taken about 2 to 3 weeks, but I certainly wasn't laid flat. It's affected me very badly, but I haven't been have to absolutely cancel everything and fuck it. We also went to the pneumologist, the lung specialist, to check on this fluid that just would not go away, is not going away around the lungs, because that causes the restriction. There's not much they can do about it except keep me on my current medication. They thought of perhaps draining it physically, but they didn't see much reason in that, because the medication was helping, just really slowly, and it has risks, and it's invasive. Again, it's not something they wish to do, but it was an idea. The medication I'm on to control the fluid retention makes me pee a lot and desperately. I now need to plan my day around these fucking tablets. I take them in the morning, and in the morning I prefer staying home where there is a toilet available and I can get to it quickly and efficiently. Later in the afternoon I can maybe take a risk and go grocery shopping or something not too taxing, and I can get out without having to desperately pee. It's bad for you. These tablets to make the water go, the fluid go away, are not in any means healthy tablets. I get constantly monitored. There's blood drawn every week, and then went to every 2 weeks, and now it's every month. That blood checks my kidney functions, because the medication is absolutely horrible on your kidneys. And kidneys, after a certain, as I understand it from the doctor, after a certain point, if they take too much damage, will not heal. So they are very careful of the dosage and checking up on the dosage of that medication. There are other more personal symptoms which I will not get into here. I might get into those at a later stage, but not right now. And that's pretty much it. After this video, I will still be making some videos, but these videos will be more in the line of cathartic thing for me, just to express certain issues, regale a couple of little details that are in the timeline but I just went over because it would just take too long, and there's a lot of those. So yes, here we are. I will see you in the next video.